Hello and thank you for joining me today for another video. I hope your Christmas is going extremely well. I hope everything is going really juicy.
So this right here is John Kuckian, and I'm sure everybody by now has at least heard something about him. He recently made a video, then deleted it, then re-uploaded that video, then unlisted it, about a YouTuber named Peter Monn. Now in his video about Peter Monn, he says some really serious stuff and he makes some really hardcore accusations, and I'm gonna be as upfront as anyone and say that I don't like John Kuckian. So make of that what you will, but anyways, he made this entire video about good old Peter Monn and called him a pedophile, and said that Peter Monn sexually harassed him. I'm not gonna give this Crookian any more airtime than he deserves, so I'm gonna kind of skip around in his video, especially since a lot of it is just his quote-unquote receipts. And you can't really read body language when there's a huge tweet or Tumblr post covering the screen. It's kind of impossible. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at Crookian's body language, and then later on in this video, I'll dissect Peter Monn's response. And just a quick disclaimer, like in any of my other videos, keep in mind body language will not 100% tell you if someone is lying or if they're telling the truth, but it can be a huge tell. So you guys are free to make up your own opinions, your own theories, just take everything that I say with a grain of salt.
We have a really fun Marc Jacobs thing in beauty to talk about afterwards, but first of all, the first half of this video is something that I really wanted to talk about for quite a long time, but I was doing my researches, doing my investigations, and I came across something, and this is something I'm quite happy to talk about.
Right off the bat, I already want to mention how excited Joan seems to have this information on Peter Monn. Now, there's a term we use when dissecting body language called Duping Delight. This term was coined by Dr. Paul Ekman. In Ekman's own words, duping delight is the pleasure we get over having someone else in our control and being able to manipulate them. So you'll tend to see this sort of fleeting smile, this kind of micro expression on most liars' faces whenever they are bypassing their anxiety, bypassing their shame, their narcissism, and they're playing some sort of sociological game. And I bring this up because I want you guys to really pay attention to all of the smiling that's going on in this serious video. Anytime that Joan brings up the fact that there was some sort of sexual misconduct, some sort of sexual harassment, some sort of pedophilia going on, any type of bullying, he gets a big smile plastered across his face because this makes him really happy. He is really, really excited to have this quote-unquote news, information, what have you, about Peter. And one last little piece of information before I truly get into the video. I can tell by his earring that this is his right side and this is his left side.
Because for the past year, myself and one of my friends have been really harassed by an individual and really bullied by an individual, a really nasty person. This man is nearly twice my age. He's a complete pervert. He used to talk to me, he used to ask me for naked photos.
Now, in looking back at this memory, he starts to tell us how him and his friend were bullied and harassed by Peter Monn. He's not scanning the left part of his brain at all. He's really not searching for any sort of visual or auditory memories. So at this point, as soon as we get into the video, it seems to be like everything he's saying is just simply hearsay. But of course, you always need more than one tell in order to come to that conclusion. So I'm going to replay this clip a couple of times and show you guys what I mean. On top of the lack of emotional response, we also have a huge believe me look. His eyebrows are going up, they're staying up, they're in that uncomfortable position because he really wants you to believe him. We have the duping delight smile. His body is fidgeting in a sense that his head will go forward and a second later his body will follow. It's not really singing with him. You've got the hands being thrown about because he really wants to show emphasis in what he's saying. The eyes squint for a second, his eyebrows go down, and then there's more dysfunction. So I'm gonna just take a wild guess and say that I don't think this actually happened.
And when I cut him off and disassociated from him for some personal reasons which you can guess.
Now, after he's done saying this string of, in my opinion, tiny little lies, he goes straight into a slow blink, and that is also an indication of deception. Now, there's a term for this slow blink, and it's called cognitive overload. Whenever your brain is working hard to make up this string of lies, it'll end up getting so filled up that it needs to take a break, and you'll see that come through in a slow blink. So just like an increase in blink rate would show deception, a decrease in blink rate also shows deception.
I don't talk about this stuff because I want to keep Cookie's courtroom like a fun, sweet, fun place, investigations, whatever. But this man is honestly the biggest Like, he's honestly horrible, and because I wouldn't engage in sexual activities with him, he's literally engaged in targeted harassment against me and one of my friends for literally the past year.
And this has nothing to do with body language, but the amount of times that this man says honestly or literally is astronomical. Repeating words, I wonder if that's something liars do.
This man is literally over twice my age. He only seems to ever put his attention onto really young people, really young boys. So there was me, there was Charles Gross, and then there was also James Charles. So it's always like the young semi-twinky-ish boys that he's interested in, even though he's like 50, which is obviously a bit perverted. Like, why is an old man stalking young people? His apparent line of work is anti-bullying, and he works with children, okay? And so I was like, okay, so I found his Tumblr, and I was going through his pictures, and I was like, wow.
Were you really like, wow, Joan? Were you really? Because I don't see you remembering that at all.
This is fucked up. This is really fucked up.
So he tilts his head upwards, he has a really big Duping Delight smile on his face, he says, this is really fucked up, and then he goes straight back down, still smiling, textbook signs of arrogance. He's so excited. He's so excited, and it's so weird. Why are you so excited, you freak?
Okay, so I was going through his Tumblr, and it's literally pictures of young boys, nudity, and abuse, like tying boys up, boys being bruised, boys bleed, like young boys. I'm going to include the pictures for you. And I'm not talking young boys like my age, like 20, like 17. I'm talking like 12-year-old boys, the same age group as the boys that he's counselling. Do you see what I mean? What kind of parent would willingly put their child in front of a man in a room when this is the man's background? Okay, like, okay, that's really creepy. Bear in mind that this man, when he first came onto YouTube, reached out to me, reached out to all the other like youngish looking boys. Did you see what I mean? He wasn't talking to female beauty gurus. He wasn't talking to any of those people. He was fixated on the young boys. And then eventually with me, when he was asking me for inappropriate pictures and I said no and got rid of him because I'm not about that life.
So in this case, just like earlier on, he does the complete opposite of slowing down his blinking. He speeds it up whenever he says like, oh, I said no. You know, I wasn't gonna send him any nude pictures because I'm not about that life. The entire time he's talking, his head doesn't want to stay still. His eyes keep searching the creative part of his brain. And like I said, this is all hearsay, and I don't think it happened.
And so I honestly just find it worrying, and it's no surprise to me because I've experienced how perverted this man is firsthand. Do you see what I mean? Like, I know how creepy he is, but there's literally pictures here. I've experienced creepy men in the past, and I've had experiences on YouTube with creepy men that have gone weird on me when I've blocked them, when I've not been interested. I don't know what the obsession is with people being obsessed with young male YouTubers.
Okay, I'm done with John Kuckian. Let's move on to Peter.
Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. Not going anywhere. I would love to do a video today where I'm flipping fans and telling funny stories, and in fact, that is the video that I had planned for today. Unfortunately, the universe had a different plan for me, and my life has always kind of been like that, you know? That when I have a certain way that I want to do things, or I've made a plan for the day, that things go completely different than I thought they would. This was first proved to me about 10 years ago when
Peter's going to start talking about his family in a second here, so you can definitely tell that there's some sort of emotional response as he's going into this video already. And I just want to reiterate the fact that you need more than one tell in order to come to the conclusion that someone is telling the truth or lying. So it's no secret that talking about his family is going to make him emotional. You can see the stress lines start to form on his forehead and around his eyebrows, and no, those are not just wrinkles. And he lowers his chin, he looks down, he's basically submitting to everyone. He's being very vulnerable right now. So this guy has been through some shit.
I had had a conversation with my mother about her health concerns. You know, we were given another 3 to 6 months before things would get worse and we would have to make some decisions. And the very next day, while I was in the middle of work, I got a call from my father that my mom had gone into a coma. Last year, my mom's only sister, which is really my only remaining family on my mom's side, went into lung failure and entered hospice on the exact same day that a vicious and malicious video by John Kuckian was made about me. I will never forget that, and let me tell you why I won't forget that. Not just the fact that it was the day that my aunt entered hospice, but I felt very alone in the world. And at that time, so many people chose to believe John.
I'm choosing to leave his long rant about his family in my video because I want it to be clear what someone looks like when they are actually recalling a story that truly happened. There's no need to be extra, there's no need to be so exaggeratory to where your body will not stop fidgeting, and there's definitely no need to smile like an idiot whenever you're talking about something that is serious.
And it has taken me a year to show people who I am through this channel, through my daily vlog channel, through my Peterisms channel where I show stories of my life, and through my booktube channel. When are people gonna start seeing the truth for what it is, okay? This person can put out malicious lies about everybody in the entire world. But when somebody puts a video out exposing facts, they come back with malicious lies. It has been done time and time and time again. And the really scary thing about this is that today, when this was going on, I had this feeling in the pit of my stomach that I was like, and it was so horrible. And it reminded me of when I was a kid in school and I was being bullied and I was afraid to go to school. So when you're being accused of being the bully, but yet you have that feeling in your stomach, who's bullying who?
And I like this. So he's addressing John's bullying claims. He sits up nice, shoulders square, makes great eye contact with the camera, his body is singing with him. He's angry, but not to a point where it's distorting the way that he's acting about this entire situation. He is handling this with a lot of class.
I reached out to numerous people today to vouch for me. And every person was extremely supportive, not drama channels. Let me just tell you, almost every drama channel out there, with the exception of those two, have come to me and said, this isn't even drama, this is disgusting, okay? Enough is enough already. And they've all said that they feel horrible that this is happening to me, that they know what he's all about, on and on and on. Why people cannot see the truth is beyond me, okay? My character has been defamed. There is nothing in that video that is true. And if you choose to believe what is in that video and the way that it has been manipulated and shown to you without correct knowledge of what has been shown to you by a liar, by a manipulator, by somebody that calculates every move they make, then that is up to you. There's nothing that I can do about that.
So this is a replay of him saying there's nothing in that video that is true. He keeps great eye contact. His eyebrows go up, but only for a split second, so it's not a believe me look. At this point, I honestly think that he couldn't care less if you believe him or not. His shoulders, arms, and head all bounce together at the same time, so that's a huge indication that his body is singing with him. This is something that this man truly believes, and if you choose not to believe him, he doesn't really give a fuck. I haven't ever been subscribed to Peter Monn, and I probably won't be, but I have to say, I have immense respect for him. It's not an easy thing to do to make a video after someone has slandered your name through the fucking mud. It's not easy, especially to keep your composure. That's gotta be one of the hardest things in the world to do. So props to Peter Monn. In my opinion, and you guys are free to make your own, but in my opinion, I don't believe that this man is a pervert. I don't think that he's a bully, and I think that John Kuckian is lying. That's really all I have for today's video. I really hope this entire situation gets straightened out and that Peter keeps his clean reputation. And I also hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you on the next one.
Again, this kid literally looks about 12 years old, and this face is obviously being put alongside porn. But there's pictures of boys that literally look about 14, literally 14 years old. Again, we've got more pictures of boys that literally look like 14, 15 years old. Tell me, is this boy over 16? Is this boy over 16? He literally looks about 12 years old.